not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey all, welcome to this new series where we will create awesome designs, add effects to photos and much more exciting stuff using Photoshop. In this video we are going to create this widely popular pixel stretch effect. There are three types in this effect, which are circular stretch, linear stretch and dynamic stretch, and two ways to create it, which are with and without the layer stack. Let's create circular stretch effect in this video, and in the upcoming videos we will create linear and dynamic stretch. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to notify about those. Now with the Photoshop open, here are the few artworks that I have created. This one is without the layer stack, and this one with the layer stack. Also here are the few other ones which I have created, this one and also this one. These all are created using the different tutorials and all the information available on the internet, and also using the processes of the top tutorials and videos available on the internet. So this video will be the best summarized video on this artwork. So let's close this and create a new document from the scratch. You can press Ctrl or Command plus N to create new document, or you can go to file and create new. For this design I am using size of 100 by 100 pixels with 150 resolution and color mode RGB with 8-bit, and the background color doesn't matter because we are going to change it later as per our need or as per our liking. So let's click on create. Here's it, the new document with the white background. Now let's export the model on which we are creating this design on. So here is the model which we will be using. Let's drag it to Photoshop and press enter or return to place it. Now you can select any model or any photo on which you want to create this effect on, but usually the popular recommended term model which shows some movement, like here in this picture this model is jumping, so this effect kind of looks like a trace of her jump or a trace of a movement kind of thing. You might have seen it in animes or movies, like a stretch effect or movement is traced back. So it is recommended to choose a model which has some movement, but the static or standing image also does work, depends on the concept you are trying to show. So now let's rename this photo layer as model photo. So now our next step is to make selection of this model and or you can say remove the background. Okay, let's make sure we save this document, and you can see I have created many. So let's name this as circular pixel stretch and click on OK. So now let's go to the model photo layer and click on the smart object thumbnail, and here it is. Let's press Ctrl or Command plus 0 to fit it to screen. Okay, now let's make a selection. There are many ways to make a selection using different techniques, but everyone has their comfortable way or technique to use it. But to make this quick, and let's use quick selection tool which you can activate with W. So now let's zoom in a little bit, and I recommend that keeping the brush size little less than 10 to be a little more precise with the selection. So now let's start the selection from here with this hand, and let's just drag this cursor down to keep making this selection. Now let's select the face and now the hair, and down here and here too. Let's move further. Also make sure this enhance edge at the top is checked, as it enhances the selection edges and identifies the edges better, so the possibility of your selection going out of the subject becomes less. And now let's fine tune it and make the selection more precise. There are different preferences to everyone, like pen tool or brush, but mine is a lasso tool to make my selection more precise. So now, after fine tuning the other details, let's make the hair selection much more precise, as so managing hair in every graphic design and animation and all things is little difficult, so there is a separate tool dedicated to it. Let's click on select and then click on select and mask, and that opens up this panel. Here the unselected areas are marked with red. Okay, so now to make selection of the hair properly, make sure you go to the refine edge brush tool or press R to activate it, and here you will make the selection. But before making the selection, make sure you tick the smart radius, which automatically adapts the radius of the image edges, and also decontaminate colors, which refines edges, which removes the color fringing. Now both tick boxes being ticked, let's brush through the hair to make the selection of hair more refined. Now before pressing OK, make sure the output is set to new layer with layer mask, and let's press OK. So what it does is it creates the mask for the selection, and after doing that, let's press save. So after closing this, let's start to create the pixel stretch effect. So now let's go here to marquee tool, and there are 4 marquee tools, but for this pixel stretch effect, this single row marquee tool and single column marquee tools are most widely used. So make sure you select one of those based on the image or your liking. I recommend if you have more colors horizontally, you select single row marquee tool, and if you have more colors vertically, you select single column marquee tool. So I am selecting single column marquee tool, and let's press here and it will show this guide. So make sure we can get the longest selection possible. Make sure you release it when you feel that it is the perfect selection and you got that line of colors. So here is it, a thin line appears. After this is so now what we need to do is press Ctrl C to copy it, and then go to layers panel, create a new layer here, put it below the model photo, rename it as stretch, convert it to smart object, open that smart object, and here paste that selection. Then press V to activate move tool, and here you can see the selection you have just made. Also, if you come here on the main document and zoom into it, and let's zoom, you can see it selects single column of pixel. So here's what we are getting in here. So let's get back here, and now stretch it, not proportionally but stretch it sideways here and to the end here, and press enter or return. Here is the pixel stretch band. Now save this to see it on the main document. Here it is on the main document. Now to get rid of this selection, press Ctrl or Command D. Okay, now let's make another selection. So make sure your model photo layer is active, and let's just get this white color of the boot, and the best we can, let's release it. Let's copy, go here and paste. Press V for the move tool and stretch it out like this, and also on the other side press enter for you to see it. Let's get it down here so you can see here, and let's just snap it to this, and let's name it stretch 2 and place it below the stretch, and let's select both and press Ctrl or Command E to merge them. Press save, and here is our stretch band updated. Now let's close this smart object of stretch. Now make sure your stretch layer is active, and again to get rid of the selection, press Ctrl or Command D. And now we are going to create the circular effect. So go to filter, go to distort, and go to polar coordinates. This is what defaultly selected rectangular to polar, and this is what also we need. If it is not, make sure you check this out. Also, now if you press here, you can see this is the circular effect we are getting. So press OK, and here's the circular stretch effect. Let's enhance it. If you want this hollow part in center, that's okay, but if you don't, then let's open our stretch smart object, and you can see here the brown color is in the inside. So let's just stretch the brown color out to decrease the hollow effect in center. Okay, and save. You see this part getting decreased, this center part. Now let's try a little more to see how much we can achieve. Let's say up to this. Okay, and save again. So here it is very less. Also, if you want that the colors to be reversed, press on any handle and flip vertically and save it. Apply, and you can see the colors are reversed, but I think the previous one looks better, so let's do that. Yes, this one looks much better. Close the smart object. Now let's move our model a little bit to align it with our stretch effect. Let's just increase the size of our model picture so we can make her edges align with our circular stretch. So I think it is aligned properly. Now let's select the stretch layer here, and let's add the layer mask. Now go to brush tool, make sure you select the hard round brush, and also here in the set background foreground color, make sure the foreground color is set to black and your mask layer is active. Now brush through the areas which you want to remove. I would like to brush through this backside area, so let's do this. And you might find this very relaxing, so just take your time and do it as much slowly as you like. See, it's very relaxing. Here's the stretch effect. So now what we need to do is set the background. So let's unlock this background, rename it as background, and also don't forget to keep saving your document. Now double click on the layer and I will add gradient overlay to it. I have previously selected these colors. If you want the same colors, you can copy this code here, FFD271, and for the lighter version it is FCF2DC. So let's press OK and OK. So here is the background set, and the lighter color in the center looks good as it gives the effect of a glow from behind. Now if you want, you can add a shadow to the model. So double click there, press on drop shadow, and let's make sure where the shadow, so light is coming from here, so shadow goes here. So I think we have set this. Make sure your distance, your angle is right. Let's just make a little correction to this. Let's say 80. Distance is 25. Spread 0. Size is, let's say, 15, and press OK. Now let's say we don't want this shadow to go out of our circular stretch effect. So what we have to do is right click on the effect and create a layer. So that creates a layer of the effect. You can add mask to it, and you can just remove this. As the brush is already selected, we can remove this from here. Just make sure we get the desired result. So just gently removing this, and also this little part right here. It looks good. So create a new layer, put it below the stretch layer, and also make sure your brush is soft round, and just press here. Now activate the move tool with V. Just drag this long enough, press it a little down, and make sure it aligns with this one. Okay, name it as shadow and decrease the opacity to, let's say, 60%. Done. And here is the circular pixel stretch effect without layer stack. Now let's create the circular pixel stretch effect using the layer stack. So let's say we are using the same model, so we don't need to go through whole selection process. Now what we have to do is just make sure you take this two, get it into the group, and let's name it without layer stack, and hide them. Also let's hide this shadow for now. So we are back to square one now, but this time we have the background set. So let's go to the model photo and let's make a copy with Ctrl or Command J and press it on the right side. So if you keep doing this, you will see an effect on the left side, and if you press it on the right side, it will create the effect on the left side. But we have to create multiple copies of it in the layer stack, means we have to stack multiple layers. So instead of doing that, let's create an action. So if you don't have this action button here, go to Windows and you'll see actions here. You can also use the shortcut here, but I have set it here. So let's use the action. So let's create now. Before that, let me show you, I have already created this actions, and to show you how to create an action, just press this plus here and name your action. Let's for now make it action 1 and press on record. So now whatever you do, it records it. So let's do the copy and slide. So Control J and 1 pixel on the left, Control J, 1 pixel on the left, and when you are done, just press stop. So it has created this series of events. If you select this and play this, now we have 6 copies here. Let's say what happens now. It has created again 5 copies which we have created, as we have created 5 copies from 2 to 6. So it has created more 5 copies from 7 to 12. And what that has done to our image is that, if you can see here, it has created this stretch effect. For now on you can do that, but as I have already created multiple actions related to that, let me just delete all these copies and this new action and just use my previously created actions. You can also create action from the actions. So let me create this, and it has created 10 copies to the right side. If I want it on the left side, I'll say select this and press it to create on this side. Let me do it a few more times. Okay, by using this, I have also created this 50 pixel on the left. So let me do it a few more times. And if you ask me up to when should I have to do it, then I'll say until you feel you have this column where you can make a selection. So I still don't have it, I think, and a few more copies would do. But let's just keep it to just 100. Let's close the actions panel, and now just go down to the first. Let me tell you, you make sure your last copy is selected, and then you scroll down to select the first copy and press Ctrl or Command E to merge them. Now let's see if we have a selection here or not. Probably not, as the boot is getting selected. So what now we have to do is create a copy of this 100 layers. So let's press Ctrl Command J to make a copy and slide it the other way till you feel it is okay to release it. Yes, just make sure you adjust it right. Let's do it another one. So I think now we have it. Let's get these layers merged. Let's get our marquee tool here, make a selection. So why this method is more efficient and appropriate, because it is making the selection of the last pixel of the image. As you can see, we have moved just one pixel, so these are the last pixels which are stretched, so it is more appropriate and more efficient selection or a pixel stretch. So after making this selection, the process will remain the same. So let me just do it all. Stretch it out like this and like this. Press enter. So here's the selection. Now let's save this. Go back to here. Make sure this one is turned off. So here's the selection. Now what you can do is, first of all, let's make sure our model photo is selected, and we can see here the white of the boot, the black hair a little bit, then the pants, then the last pixels, a few pixel here is yellow, and then mostly it is gray. So now let's select the stretch band, go to filter, again the same thing, distort and polar coordinates. So you see this time, because we have the bigger band, the hollow part is less. So press OK and you can have this beautiful effect in here. And here is our circular stretch using layer stack. So hope you all liked it. Make sure to share and subscribe. And until next time, keep watching Haynes Graphics.